Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Blender tutorial video. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this mountainous terrain with lots of trees on it. And I will also be supporting the Arbor Day Foundation. If you don't already know, the Arbor Day Foundation is a foundation that will plant one tree for every $1 donated. So go Team Trees if you haven't already heard about this. I will also be donating maybe $1 to the foundation, and if you want to, I'll link it in the description below. So as always, let's just get straight into it. So what you want to do is press X on the default cube, delete it. Then you want to go over here to Edit, Preferences, and it will be enabling the A&T Landscape tool. So if you want to type in Landscape, enable A&T Landscape here. So what this will do is that it will give us a denoise plane, which will give us our mountainous terrain. And you also want to enable the sapling tree generation right here. And once you've done that, you want to X out. Press F3, type in landscape, click on another denoise tool, landscape, and as you can see, it gives us a little denoise plane, which is really cute. Then you want to open up this bar here, and you can choose all these different types of noises, but so far, the best one, in my opinion, is the header terrain. So once you have that selected, or just leave that selected, the best subdivisions, in my opinion, for a typical landscape right here, would be 500 by 500, but careful not to go too high, as some computers cannot handle this. So on average, I think 500 by 500 will be the best suited for everybody else. But if you really wanted to be super detailed, I would rather you go 1000 by 1000. And you can also go over here and change the random seed. So what this will do is that it'll change the different. It will apply different types of noise onto the plane. So you can just go scroll through and see which ones you like. See, as you can see, if you change the seed, it changes the different landscape. But for now, let's just go with the random seed of 1. And by the way, if you want to scroll faster right here, you want to lower these subdivisions. I should have said that in the beginning. To like 128 by 128 default. And there can be some glitching that can occur right here. It's only a little bits of problem with this tool. Since we have this, what we want to do is just scale it up a little. We'll just be using this terrain. There we go. Shade smoothing it will also decrease these little abnormalities. But I like to keep it somewhat detailed. And you won't really be able to see these abnormalities since we'll be putting lots of trees on them. So far, let's just move this off to the side for later. And we'll just press F3 and type in sapling. So this is the sapling generator for typical Blender. As you can see, we can just have this tree so far with lots of branches. Then what you want to do next is go over here to geometry, and you can see all the branch radius, splitting, branch growth, leaves. So for now, you can also tamper with lots of settings and mess around. There is also a couple presets here. Then you can also load a couple presets like willows, tree birch, pines, maples. But for now, I think we should stick with just the regular preset. See? Just bring that back. And let's just add a couple of leaves to it. We bring this up to 250, and let's go show leaves to see how this looks. And then we have a little tree with leaves on it. So we'll just be using this tree. We won't be going too crazy in this tutorial so far, but if you want, you can change this up and see how you like it. And apply this to this denoised, to this noise affected plane. That will be our terrain over here. So I want to go over here, add new material, make this maybe like a brownish color, darken this up. That should be good. And of course, make the leaves a light green color. If you go to Z rendered, here's our little cute tree. Doesn't look too realistic right now since we're in Eevee render engine. So what you want to do next is select both of these, and if you click Control J, it won't join since it has no mesh data to join below. So what you want to do here is you want to click F3 to bring up this menu, or spacebar to whatever you have binded up for it. Type in convert to mesh from curve / meta text serve text right here. Once you click that, it will convert both of these into a mesh. So now, when you click Control J, it'll join them together. So you have one entire complete mesh. Woohoo! So you want to scale this down to about that size. Bring this over, and we'll just apply a particle system to it. Set this to hair, take advanced, and this will give us lots of like rotation and hair dynamics and physics down here that you can just mess around with. Then you want to go to render as object. Then you want to select our instance object down here. So go down here, you can just use eyedropper tool, object tree, and now you have lots of little trees around in our plane. This might be a little taxing for your computer, so if your computer can't really handle this, you can either go up here and lower the number, or you can go down here to extra viewport display, and lower the amount of trees. So maybe you can type this in to 25%. This will be a little less taxing on your computer, so it'll be a lot less laggy. So let's just set up our camera. Press 1 to go into orthographic view, and just get a nice view on the trees. Control Alt 0 to snap the camera into place. Set this from 15 millimeters focal length to 30 to get a wider angle. And if you want a cinematic aspect ratio, you can go instead of 1920 by 1080 to 2560 by 1080, and that will give you 21 by 9 aspect ratio if you're gonna use this for any filming or cinematic purposes. But for now, I'll just keep it by 1920 by 1080. So once you have all that set up, you want to click on this and go back to the particle system, and you might want to scale this up just a little so you get all these trees up the nicest scale. See, this might be good enough for now. And you also want to take object rotation, so all these get rotated the right way. So we go with your object down here. So R, Y, and C. If you take it like that, and all of them are now facing upright. And it's also better if we get a much broader aspect of all these trees, so people can't really tell that they're all fake. So they look less fake. Anyway, so if you want to go here and press F12, you can just start rendering. As you can see, we have all of these little trees on this mountain. This looks quite fake right now since we don't really have a background or anything down below right here. But we'll fix that in a jiffy. Don't worry. Okay, since we have these set up, and let's see if we have anything else left. Everything seems to be good here, so we'll just close all this out. And we'll open up a new tab right here for the side. And go into shader editor. And then do this. Put this onto world. Click X on the background. So for this, what we're doing now is that we're going to put an HDR for the background, so this looks way more realistic. So what you want to do is go over to HDRI Haven and download a cloud HDR from here. So once you do that, just find an HDR you like, go back into your Blender, type in Shift A, environment texture, and just hook this up to the surface and open up your HDRI. So once you have HDRI, if you close this out, press Z rendered, get rid of this default light. You probably have a pretty minimal amount of lighting right here. So what I like to do with this, just maybe scale this down, drag it over, and bring it up on the z-axis. So we can't really see the bottomless black hole pit down here, of what I could like to call that. So we have this, but we need to texture also the plane itself. So if you go back to Z solid, you can go over to the texturing tab, click new, make it, you can import in a image texture, do whatever you want with it at this point. So let's just say you go onto the internet, just type in maybe let's just say forced ground floor or something, and then you want to go over here, open this up, go to shader editor, for shift a image texture, and just connect that up. It's very simple. And then you want to connect the image roughness, image texture to the roughness, and then you will get a texture for the ground itself on the mountainous terrain. So that will make it look a lot more realistic. Also, if we go over here and switch to the cycles render engine, that will also support it to be more realistic. So, and you also want to tweak up your settings right here, bring down light paths, so everything will render. Click on simplify, change your performance to whatever you have, set up current line of your system. These will all help your rendering speed. Now what we're going to do, since I'm quite a lazy person sometimes, and I don't really want to create multiple AMT landscapes for this, I just like to do Shift D, bring on the y-axis, then RZ90, so it looks like a completely different terrain if you have the camera moving around. I just like to do this over and over again. We like to have 4 planes in a row and just keep rotating them. RZ90, Shift D, and bring it over on the y-axis. RZ90. Okay, now that we have that, we can go over here, select our camera, insert in a location rotation keyframe, maybe bring it over to see all this mountainous landscape, Control 0, insert location rotation, and then once you have that, you'll just have your camera moving around this giant mountainous landscape. And of course, once you put in that texture for the ground, it will look much better than it originally does right now. So this is a way that you can make a pretty and fairly simple giant landscape. And then if you want to bring this even further, what you can do is go back to the particle system, add another particle system, and add in another tree and scale that down. Add a few branches and a couple leaves, and you can make a little sapling. And you can really get into this and make this super detailed. But for now, we'll just keep it basic. Then you want to go up here, click save, or save as, save the Blender file. And if you want to, if you're in Blender 2.81, you can obviously go to the compositing tab and set up the noise node. And finally, if you go over here, set up your render settings, of course, and to do all that jazz, you can go over here and render animation. And you will have successfully made a simple landscape in Blender. So if you like the video, hit that like button. If you dislike the video, hit that dislike button. If you like my channel and my videos in general, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Bye.